Hey everyone, Michael Dudley with Engooden Health. I have an awesome patient success story to share with you today between her care navigator Grace and her patient Jane Doe, where the patient was excited to talk about her health, but couldn't based on the barrier of language. Now, as a background on Engooden Health, we're hired by a primary care practice to reach out to their patients every single month, and through education, coaching, and accountability, help these patients make lifestyle changes, ones that keep them out of the hospital. It's completely paid for by Medicare and other programs. Now, in this story, Grace, who is bilingual, goes to call Jane to enroll her. She sees in Anita, our artificial intelligence care navigator program, that Jane only speaks in Spanish. So Grace, when she introduced herself and why she was calling, all in Spanish, Jane was ecstatic. She could finally talk with someone about her health in the language that she speaks, as she's usually had to bring a family member to her appointments to interpret for her. Grace could feel the relief and the excitement through Jane's voice. Jane told Grace that she actually needed to talk to the practice about her knee pain, but had been putting it off because she would need a family member who spoke in English to call to set the appointment. Jane elaborated about her knee pain and how her knee had been swollen. Grace asked Jane what she was doing to alleviate the pain if she wore a knee brace. Jane said that she is taking medication and stretches, but it's gotten worse. Based on the escalation protocol that we have with the practice, Grace offered to schedule an appointment for Jane, which she gladly accepted, knowing that the call Jane had been putting off would be finally checked off that list. Hey, can you also ask if I can have a knee brace? Came from the other line, which Grace put in a request in the EMR for Jane's physician to review. Grace worked with the schedule of Jane and her family member interpreter to schedule Jane to see the physician that same day. Jane said, "God bless you. You don't know how much I appreciate you. Thank you so much for what you do." In fact, the next day, Jane calls Grace to thank her again, and Jane stated that she got an order placed for a knee brace and an appointment to see an orthopedic surgeon. What a great story, right? Reaching the patients where they're at. Patients have so many different burdens and so many different hurdles to try to jump over in order to take control of their health. One language shouldn't be one of them. And I know there's a lot of groups that we work with where a good number of patients are Spanish speaking, and we hire to be able to meet those needs. But what about those practices where there aren't that many Spanish speaking patients? Should those Spanish speaking patients no longer receive the type of care? Or what happens when they call the practice to try to set an appointment? Is there anyone there to be able to answer the phone call? So I think this is one way that we can be, of the many different ways that we can be, that last mile infrastructure to meet the patients where they're at. We'd love to repeat the same success with your practice, with your patients. You know how to reach me. Have a wonderful weekend.